Hello everybody and welcome to the UKG Pro app tutorial. In this video I do want to show everybody exactly how to get the UKG Pro app logged into and all set up on your phone, as well as just to explore some features and finally learn how to clock in. So the very first thing I do want to say and make sure that you have prepared on your phone before you start following along is you will want to have both a UKG Pro, which you can see in the top left corner of my screen, and a UKG Ready app, which is also in the top left-hand corner of my screen. You can find either of these in your phone's app store. For me, it was just the Google Play Store, and both should be available if you just search for UKG Pro or for UKG Ready. A helpful hint is that the UKG Ready app you will never log into. This is just to run in the background on your phone and give the UKG Pro app some additional functionality to allow you to log in and log out of the timekeeping system. So with this said, I do want to guide everyone on how to log into the UKG Pro app first. So the very first thing I'm going to do is just click on the UKG Pro app. And then as this loads, the very first thing it's going to take me to is just a screen full of tips. So you're welcome to take a look at all the different tips UKG is offering you. I know I've read them. And then the next screen that it will take you to is a screen that's asking for something like an access code or a URL. If your screen is asking you for this, it's just a very specific code that will track down exactly where your profile is at. And the access code used throughout the Mac network is Mac HR. So once you've entered that as your access code or URL, you'll just want to click continue. And then it might load for a moment, and then it's going to bump you out to your web browser. For me, it was Chrome. But the reason it's bumping you out to the web browser is because it wants you to log in for the first time. So in order to do this, I recommend using your UKG username, which is usually your work email address or whatever email address you signed up for UKG with. If there's ever any confusion on what is your username for UKG, you can always reach out to the Mac HR team. But for me, I've actually got my username and password already saved in a password manager. This one's just provided by Google, but on most Samsung phones, they have an in-house password management system, or you can always use Google too. It's just a helpful way to make sure you don't have to re-enter your password and username over and over again when you log in. So I'm going to go ahead and use mine here, and I use my username and password. Sometimes it will want you to use multi-factor authentication. So if that happens, just go ahead and choose an option that works for you. Once you have an option that works for you, it'll just ask you to enter it. Samsung's come with some pretty cool tools that will just automatically copy the code for you. If it does have you wanting to remember your device, I recommend selecting this, and then it'll at least save your login for 7 days on your phone. And then from there, I want to log in. It looks like it's going to be redirecting me around, but truly it's just taking me into the phone for the first time. It does offer me the functionality of signing in with my face or fingerprint. I am not going to do that right now for this presentation, but I do want to show you that once you log in, you will be brought to a screen that shows a number of shortcuts. These shortcuts are super helpful, but they're not the only way to navigate. The shortcuts do take you to very commonly visited places of UKG. As you can see, pay on here. You can also see an org chart on here. But if you ever want to edit these, there is a little pencil icon in the top right-hand corner of the menu that you can click on. And then you can actually reorder your shortcuts. And then if you go out to available shortcuts, you can actually add to your home screen some pretty common shortcuts. I recommend adding time clock, for example. And then once you're done adding what you want to add, just go ahead and click apply. And now I've got time clock on there. Another way to navigate around the app is actually to go into the bottom right hand corner here into menu. And if you click on that menu button, it's going to take you to everywhere you can go within the UKG Pro mobile app. The very first place I want to take everyone to is to Profile, which is right below your name, and it's the first listed option. Out in Profile, I just want to make sure I show everybody that out on your profile screen, even in your mobile app, you can review as well as edit any of your contact information. So whether that's your phone number, that's your email address, or that's your address, you should be more than okay to go ahead and edit those. If you do want to edit them, you'll just press this little blue edit button here in the top right corner, and then it'll give you a number of options to edit. But the most important reason most folks will use the UKG Pro mobile app, now that I went back out to my home screen, is actually to clock in and to clock out. And that's where downloading that UKG Ready app is really going to come into play. Again, do not open that UKG Ready app, because what you're about to do within the UKG Pro app will open it for you. So in order to log in, what I will want to do is actually go back down to my handy dandy menu. And then I actually have a menu for time, as well as I have a menu for time and attendance. Now, time and attendance is going to be helpful if you want to jump straight to that time off request screen. I know some folks do request time off, and I just want to make sure you know you can do that in the app. As well as, though, in your time screen, you're going to have a lot more options about what you can do. And if you are just trying to punch in or out, what I recommend you do first is actually go out to the option that says time clock. And what this is going to do is this is going to redirect you again. And what that means is that this is now redirecting you to the UKG Ready app. So once you get redirected back out there, it will have you re-enter your username and password. What I did with my password was I copy and pasted it ahead of time for my password manager. I might recommend doing the same, but I should be able to sign in from here. All right, something this might ask you to do right upon going to your time clock from your UKG Pro app is it might ask you for your location. I should note that location is not something that we need here at Mac. If you do want to turn it on, go ahead. But you are allowed to not allow location and still clock in. All right, and from here, what I want to show everybody is that clocking in and clocking out is a pretty easy process once you get to the screen. You can just press your clock in button if you need to clock in, and clock out if you've got to clock out, as well as there's an additional functionality down here to change your cost center if that's something you need to do. With this said, I've already clocked in this morning at 7:55 a.m. So I'm all good to go, but if I do want to clock out at any point, I can just press my button there on the screen. One other thing I want to show you is how to get into your timesheet from this screen. So let's say, for example, I came in at 7:55 this morning, but I didn't clock in. So I want to go in and edit my time. I can click on View My Timesheet right down here, and UKG will take me directly to the current timesheet I have, which is super helpful. I can see here that I actually did clock in at 7:55 a.m., but if I did need to edit, for example, my out time to, let's say, 8:44, which it is right now, it'll automatically load that time, but I can go ahead and change that to whatever hour I need it to be and click Set. Once I've set that, the most important thing that I need to be able to do is to scroll back to the top of my menu, and then I need to press Save down here in the bottom right hand corner, just to make sure that my timesheet is saved on the web, so my manager as well as so payroll can see it. With that said, there are a number of really cool features within the UKG Pro app, not including just checking out your profile and doing your timesheet. You can also go out and update your taxes, as well as update any of your direct deposit information. So with that really said, I really recommend going around exploring what parts of the app you can, but for just today, I'm happy to have shown everybody how to clock in and out using the UKG Pro app, as well as just how to review your information generally and navigate around the app. Thank you so much.